Strong's Garage.
Yeah, you got Matt, Jim here.
And been a while, eh?
Oh, you bet, yeah.
It's not been without work.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
I'm finally back at work now, and things are catching up for the last, 10 months.
Oh, exactly, yeah. We have lots of people asking how Matt was, and yeah, how he's...
So figured we'd do that and say hello to everybody, and we're doing good. Business is good. We're doing lots of antique cars. We just haven't had the time to make any videos, eh?
Yeah, it's been, it's very busy.
Yeah,
to keep up with. It was a one-man show, and then one and a half, and
yeah,
two-man, and so,
but we did manage to get one thing done. We finished the Alberta Motor Association, which is where we're from, Alberta, turns 100 years old this year, and they got us to restore their 1927 Chev tow truck in honor of that.
Yeah, so it came in initially just needing a fuel tank clean to get it running, and then that turned into a rod knock and babbitt and full color change, and yeah.
What was that? They dropped it off like a couple of weeks after my accident?
Yeah, late August 2025.
Jim pretty much handled the entire first 3/4 of the thing, and we swooped in at the end there and got her cleaned up. But it turned out really cool, and if you're anywhere near the area, it'll be on display in the province. You can look it up on the Alberta Motor Association. But what they did was they sent this crazy film crew down, these really nice guys, and they filmed some of the stuff, eh?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, which is different than this. They did a better job. They're professionals, eh?
Oh, exactly, yeah.
And whatever. So what we did, they gave us the permission, so what we thought is we'd talk a little bit about the truck, and we'd show you a little documentary they made, which is 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, wonderful little film they put together on it.
But I'm doing much better, thanks to everybody that reached out, and getting back into the swing of things, so to speak, has been tough, but great. So quickly though, the Alberta Motor Association, founded in 1926. They put out this Good Roads magazine. It started out as 2 clubs, one in Calgary and one in Edmonton, that merged. They were advocates for highway and road use.
Oh yeah.
It was great.
It was tough sledding up here in the early motor age.
Oh, it would have been.
More like horse trails and such. So.
That's right. The #1 cause of flat tires was horseshoe nails on the road at the time. But, so the Alberta Motor Association, which is a fixture of, they're part of everything. I guess everybody has some kind of motor association.
Oh yeah.
At ours, they had this truck that they called Betsey. We've had for about 40 years almost.
Yeah.
And like Jim said, came in for a tune-up, and we know where that goes, eh?
Oh yeah.
And it's a Brantford cab, which is a Canadian company that made the cabs for those trucks. So they made them for Chev, for International. You get Fords with Brantford cabs. So it's got that cool Canadian thing. But what it was very wooden, eh?
Oh, it's
very wood.
98% wood. Yeah.
They were kind of sold out of the Cockshot, or they were a division of the Cockshot tractor, or the Cockshot plow company at that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, our friend Kale, another fixture of the community here, wonderful guy, helps us out with that kind of stuff. He did all the woodwork, and Alex, of course, did the painting and bodywork. Dave Dunbar came in, did some sign writing on it, and we did a bunch of research. The number that we painted on the truck, 5311. That's the original phone number we found in a 1927 phone book, and we just had some fun with slogans and whatever. So.
Oh yeah, let's have the.
So what we'll do is we'll show you the documentary.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
This is a story about driving into the future by restoring the past.
AMA is turning 100 years old this year, and Betsey's almost 100 years old, so perfect time to get Betsey back into perfect condition. Betsey's our 1927 tow truck that AMA owns. We went down to look at Betsey in storage, and she wasn't in as good a shape as we thought. And so we started talking about that and what we want to do with it, and that's where I got Jane Flower involved a little bit.
It's our centennial year. We really have to get Betsey running for the centennial. But seriously, where are we going to find somebody who can fix a 1927 Chevy?
And I was casually talking to my father, who lives in Bruderheim, and he was telling me that he would walk by a shop in Bruderheim and stop by and have coffee with these weird dudes, and said they were awesome and they worked on old cars.
Like Brandon said, weirdos. Eh?
Yeah, weirdos.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what comes down to that.
Weirdos.
Walking in the front door of this place is like walking back in time, and then meeting Jim and Matt, who is also like walking back in time. It felt like home, it felt like family, so we knew we were in the right place.
I'm Matt, and this is Jim, and you're at Strong's Garage.
Yeah, in Bruderheim, Alberta. Just
specialize mostly in pre-war cars, so pre-1940.
Well, the reason we do it is because there's nothing else to do, I guess, eh?
You ask yourself that every morning.
But in the grand scheme of things, I think you're always going to have a need to preserve the past in order to see where you're going.
Yeah, so we brought the truck here, made a plan to kind of get it running and started looking over it, and then the more you look, the more you find.
And then we started talking more. They're like, this truck isn't time period. It's been restored using the wrong bolts and the wrong steering wheel, the wrong gas pedal, the wrong tires.
My great-grandmother had a saying, the farther you go in the bush, the more wood you find.
And so we started talking about that and what we want to do with it. And we kind of made the call that, hey, it's probably time to restore Betsey back to her glory.
If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Right here, you've got your yellow to blue to orange. It looks kind of like a jawbreaker where you can kind of see the layers of paint coming in.
That's exactly how it was made with the tongue and groove, and then it stuck out that far.
But this is nice, you're enclosed, so then you're hot in the summer and cold in the winter.
Yeah, right.
So we've got that lathe there. The lathe makes round things round again. Milling machine makes things flat. So between round and flat, that's about 99% of the things in the world.
You want to have where you open the door and it's like a time machine. If you take a car from the 20s or 30s or 40s and you drive down a 2-lane road and look through the windshield, look over the hood at a little gravel road or at a 2-lane road in the country, that view hasn't changed since that car was brand new. So it is a bit of time travel.
Betsey represents our history, and we have the opportunity to honor that by putting her back to her original form.
I think what it is that your passion, because you have every correct thing, translates to the guy looking at it. He may not understand it and you may never meet him, but you can see the difference. People can tell the difference. And it's just one of those things where I think it just is.
Yeah, passion breeds passion.
Yep.
So the more kind of you can put in it and it's proper and it's,
Yep.
yeah.
At the end of the day, if you have something that you truly love, like we do this, or whatever you do in your life, you will pursue where it came from. And I don't care what it's violin or if you're learning a trade or whatever, if you're truly passionate about that, you want to know why, and why is where.
In a world that moves fast, Matt and Jim are making sure the things that matter don't get left behind. In fact, they're experts at it.
Well, there you go. That's what happens when professionals make videos, eh?
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
that was a really cool experience. But neat, the truck turned out great, everybody's happy. Jim got to go to Jasper Park Lodge, and
drive it
Dave
around
Hewitt.
there.
Yeah. They also, funny enough, we loaned them a bunch of stuff we had hanging around here for display for their 1920s grad, so it all worked out.
Oh yeah, it even made it in the Calgary Stampede Parade. I think it's one of the bigger parades in North America. Second biggest ever.
Is it?
Yeah,
Wow.
bigger than Macy's.
Wow. See that? And it idled, what did it do?
It idled for 3 hours straight, yeah.
Perfectly. At temperature?
That temperature, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, and what we'll do is we'll just take you in the shop here and you can take a quick look and we'll show you what we've been working on.
Yeah. Yeah, we had this very nice 19 McLaughlin Buick show up this morning. And very nicely preserved original car that's in for a tune-up. Get it running, driving again. Very smooth looking engine. Very smooth. Cool. Yeah, very nice preserved car. Then here we have Ken's 31 Ford Victoria. And so it had been sitting for a long time. Had a bunch of stuck valves, corrosion on the valve seats, and then took the head off and piston is cracked from some sort of event. Something's off with this motor. You can see this piston's probably 20 thou higher than the other one. So we're removing the motor and putting in a another motor.
Well, there you go, eh? Yeah, little tour. Got a whole bunch going on.
Oh yes, lots of pre-war cars to tackle.
So when we redid the truck, it had originally had this logo, which I don't think came out till the 1930s. So the one that got put on the truck was their first logo. The AMA also put out this interesting book. You can go on their website, Alberta Motor Association, to collect it, but it's a little bit of their history. And it talks about how they had these cool motorcycle patrols and, I don't know, just
There's wonderful photos in it.
yeah, the first maps, and I don't know, it's really interesting Alberta history. So if you want to look at the truck as well, I believe it's going to be on display in several different
Yeah, museums around Alberta.
yeah. So we're proud to be part of it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it.